I don't even recognize myself anymore.
I'm really worried about him. His addiction. I haven't seen him like this. Ever.
Hey, look, I never wanted to start using. I knew the drill, but I was out of options.
I just want to tell him it's not your fault. There are people out there who can help. People who have felt your pain. They know what you're going through.
This has to stop. I'm losing everything. Everyone.
You've been strong your whole life. You can do this, but you have to reach out for help.
It's time. I can do this.
Addiction is a disease, and diseases need treatment.
Call Quit Drugs 321 now at 800-378-3508, 800-378-3508. That's 800-378-3508. Paid for by the Detox and Treatment Helpline.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Elevating with Marcia. I'm your host, Marcia Hawkins. Welcome to the show today. Well, we had Kristin Vincelli on last week, and we all know that the real estate market has been absolutely on fire. So I wanted to bring her back again this week so we could talk a little bit about the manic roller coaster ride that the market's been on the past few years. I want to get her take on how it's really affecting first-time homebuyers being able to enter the market. I guess, with COVID, inflation, gas prices, interest rates are now going up. Well, everything's going up for that matter. So we're going to be bringing her back again. Kristin Vincelli, she's a realtor down in Clearwater, Florida. She launched her own real estate company back in 2021, Beachwise Real Estate. She's been in real estate for over 10 years. Prior to that, in another life, she was a licensed mortgage broker. She currently has $16 million in sales, and last year, an impressive $23 million. She's a Clearwater native, born and raised. She's also known as the Rollerblading Realtor. You should check her out on Instagram. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of her page. Check it out on Instagram, Rollerblading Realtor. She has amassed an international audience watching from Canada, Spain, Italy, Australia, South America. Very, very impressive. So some top facts about Beachwise Real Estate. They're the top 1% out of 10,000 realtors in the Pinellas area. Worth over $200 million real estate sold. Certified as the luxury home marketing specialist. Certified real estate negotiator. I love that. And I'm sure it's one thing you absolutely have to have in this market. So Beachwise Real Estate specializes in waterfront and luxury properties and consistently a top producing team on Sand Key and the beaches for over 20 years. So check it out, Clearwater, Florida area, Beachwise Real Estate. You're listening to Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM 203, 217, and on the app 967, The Sports Byline, USA Radio Network. Also on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, Tuned In, iTunes, and my favorite, the American Forces Radio Network. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Kristin Vincelli, the Rollerblading Realtor. Quick break. I'll be right back.
Do you have no credit or bad credit? Well, now it's no problem with YourCreditPulse.com. Our experts have the comprehensive knowledge to help you aggressively navigate and remove any irregularities from your credit report. Call 559-761-9421 for the solution you've been looking for, from buying a house or a car or securing your next personal or small business loan. All you have to do to get started with a confidential and free consultation is call 559-761-9421 or go to our website at YourCreditPulse.com now.
At Progressive, you can get 24/7 protection, even if you break the space-time continuum.
Wait, every time you wake up is the same day? That's terrible.
Don't worry, I call Progressive. Their 24/7 protection still works even if my day does last forever.
Yeah, but don't you want it to end?
Are you kidding? I win the lottery whenever I want and never regret anything. It's the best.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Progressive offers more than a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, which literally means anytime. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Have you ever wished the student athlete in your family could play baseball against teams in the Caribbean? Well, now they can set sail and do just that with Team Avenue Baseball on one of its iconic Caribbean cruise camps. That's right. If they love baseball and want an experience they'll never forget, then you need to call 559-321-6701 or visit teamavenuebaseball.com right now. Founded by former pro ball players, teamavenuebaseball.com will lead to the baseball adventure of a lifetime. Call 559-321-6701 now.
Are you looking for solutions for health and wellness at home? Please visit antiagingbed.com. They are on a mission to use proven technology to provide you with healthy solutions to many conditions that affect all of us physically and mentally. Use promo code WELLNESS for your discount. Antiagingbed.com. Technology proven to help you feel your best. Use promo code WELLNESS. Antiagingbed.com. Feel your best.
And now today's Steel Lawn Care tip of the day. One lawn weed can quickly turn to more. Even freshly planted lawns usually inherit weeds and weed seeds. When planting new grass seed, avoid pre-emergent weed controls, such as crabgrass preventers and combination weed and feed fertilizers. These products are designed to keep weed seeds from germinating, but they can work against grass seed in the same way. Target tough weeds with effective spot treatments. And now a word from Steel Outdoor Power Equipment.
Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local Steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
All right, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to Elevating with Marcia. I'm your host, Marcia Hawkins. And again, we have brought back Kristin Vincelli. I don't know why I keep saying Christian. Sorry about that. She's a realtor down in Clearwater, Florida. I wanted to bring her back because as we always do on the show, we run out of time. I don't quite get to everything. Last week, I was talking a little bit about how I felt that the real estate market was really the entire workhorse of the economy. You hire plumbers, electricians, roofers, insurance people, lawyers, carpet layers, tile layers, painters, everything when you buy a house. Kristin, so I wanted to bring you back. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well, Marcia. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good. Oh, absolutely. And I think we might have you on even more, but we'll talk about that at another time. But I wanted to bring you back because we only really kind of dabbled in the first-time home buyer. And you mentioned that you're a negotiator, a real estate negotiator. So how hard is it for the first-time home buyers? How are they able to enter this market when it's absolutely so crazy right now?
By working with a experienced realtor such as me.
Yeah.
So I have some strategies that I use. And I think one of the most important ones is having a solid lender working behind you and getting that pre-approval done with the buyer. My lender is excellent, and I get, clear to close in 2 and 3 weeks, and, well before the time of closing of 30 to 40 days. So that's a big step for me. Another strategy I use is making friends with the listing agent. If you're an agent, a buyer's agent, and you're someone that they want to work with, they know you're going to be easy, they know you're going to do your job, you're going to take care of things, they're going to be more apt to want to work with you with your buyer. And also I tell my buyers, I call it the love story, right? I pull on the heartstrings a little bit. I tell them about my buyer. They're relocating to the area. They're starting a new career in medicine, whatever the case may be. I just make that personal connection with the agent and my buyer with their seller. So that's the first step for me in the negotiation process, is making it seem like it's going to be an easy transaction for them and that we're going to get it done, because what they want to do at the end of the day is sell a house, and what my buyer wants to do is buy it. So if we can almost guarantee that's going to happen, then, we have a really good chance.
That's interesting, because I'll tell you what, I believe that whether it's insurance, which is what I do, sales and marketing, business services, what I do, it really comes down to fostering that relationship. And you're right. I think that is why so many people, I mean, I think a lot of people, especially when the market's on fire, everyone gets their real estate license and thinks they're going to become a realtor and they're going to make, gobs and gobs of money. And, they always say you only need a downturn in the economy to flush that system out because they don't last. And you are so right about that. And that really is the key. I mean, I know a lot of people want to use, their brothers or their husband's cousin or their uncle or, maybe a niece or something. And that's always good, especially if they're a good agent. Of course, they're going to use them. But it is true. You really have to foster a great relationship with your realtor because they're going to foster that relation. In fact, a wise realtor once told me that realtors do not sell homes. They actually are the glue that holds the deal together. Do you subscribe to that?
Absolutely. I just went absolutely 100%. I just went through one that would have been canceled because of an HOA situation. I had my assistant down there at the HOA manager's office several times to get paperwork we needed, to extend it, to get the documents we needed in order to get the approval done. I mean, that deal would have been lost if not for me and putting in the extra work and knowing how mortgages work and knowing how financing is and knowing what documents we need to get and just being, proactive and getting those things done and getting them done ahead of time too. So there is a lot that goes into that and knowing, how to save the deal. I mean, I've almost lost deals over a front door and me and the agent work together to figure out how can we make this as easy as possible where both people are happy. So yes, I agree with that 100%. And if you have a good agent on both sides, it's, a guarantee that you're going to have a nice, easy transaction and everybody's going to end up happy at the end.
Yeah. I think if you think of every little area and even a large area, you always have that top tier, agent that is working in the area. And I always tell people, that's where you want to go. Especially if you're looking to sell. You never want to hire an inexperienced agent or someone who jumped in because the market was on fire. I mean, to me, that's like, betting on a horse. They're just going to jump in, they're going to get the real estate license and they're going to dabble in it. And it's not something you dabble in. It takes a long time to build a nice book of business for yourself. And I'm not saying, not to get your real estate license, but an experience. Yeah. And I'm sure you can count on more than your fingers and toes how many times you broke your leg and I'll never do that again. I mean, we've all been there. I still remember this story when you were thinking about getting out of real estate and you were telling me a funny story about it. I won't air it on the show, but it was so funny. And I think about that all the time. And I'll remind you, I'll call you after and tell you what it was.
Okay.
Because I know you're scratching your head going,
I am completely.
About? Yep. But no, I mean, yeah. And I remember telling you, I'm like, I think the market wasn't that great at the time. And, I think we all go through an ebb and flow in our careers where we think, oh, I need a change or something. But the reality of it is and I don't want to say it's, when you have your passion about it, I think that's just so cliche, but when you're really good at it, and you find yourself, for me, with what I do, I just don't find that it's work. I find that it's fun. I enjoy what I do. I love doing my podcast. I love dealing with clients with their insurance needs because I'm a problem solver with it. I love to take a situation, whether they're, they just have no protection or they're not good savers or, they don't have the right coverage on their vehicles or their business. And, everyone fears two things, dying and getting sued. And so I love being a problem solver that way. So I love, especially when it comes to health insurance, I love being able to find something that's going to service my clients. So I identify with a lot of what you say. And of course, insurance and real estate, I think, in my opinion, is very similar as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's a people business, right?
Absolutely.
And you talk about passion. And I think that was the missing key for me back when we first met. And the fun side of it and getting into the rollerblading realtor and starting to have more fun with making videos and really connecting with people and realizing how much fun I can have in real estate has really changed my perspective. And that's why I think I'm flourishing and doing so well now, because I found that passion. And I really do. I can honestly say I love what I do now.
And I probably couldn't have had you on the show when we first met because you didn't have that passion in your voice. No, I'm being totally serious.
Yes.
Yeah. And now I hear it in your voice and it's like, holy cow, like I couldn't buy a house from anybody else in Florida. I mean, you just have that passion. You know what you're doing. It's just, yeah. I mean, you're the whole package for anybody looking to buy or sell their property in Florida. You definitely need to call Kristin. So Kristin,
thank you.
When we come back, oh, you're welcome. When we come back, I want to have you take our listeners through the process of what they do, especially because I think first-time home buyers, you know how like fear holds a lot of people back. I think there's people that would jump into the market. I mean, let's face it, a mortgage right now has to be cheaper than rent. But I think people are afraid. I think some people don't like just divulging their financials to anybody. And you're right. Pre-qualification is absolutely key. The last thing you want to do is get somebody to the table and then find out that, what do you mean you just bought 2 new cars? Now your debt ratios are off. You're not going to qualify for that. That was my thing when I sold real estate. It used to drive me crazy. They would get to the point where they could close and then they would go do something with their credit and blow it all out of the water. But I want to have you walk people through the process of what they need to do and what makes a good candidate to get pre-qualification, like debt ratios and how, and whether or not you actually clean these people up before you send them in to get pre-qualified. Because when I did real estate, that's what I did. I was called the creative financing queen because I would sit down with people and I'd like, give me the good, bad, and the ugly, because I want to send you into the bank looking as the best you can. So do you mind talking a little bit about that when we come back from the break?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. So we're going to walk people through the steps, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. And maybe if you're thinking about getting a second home, what that looks like. So we can talk a little bit about that as well. So we're talking with Kristin Vincelli of Beachwise Real Estate. So we're going to bring her back. We're going to talk about first-time home buying, but we do need to take a quick break. This is Elevating with Marcia on XM 203, Series 217, and on the app 967 Sports Byline USA Radio Network. You can also find me on iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, and Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, and the American Forces Radio Network. I'm going to take a quick break, come back with Kristin. We're going to talk about first-time home buyers, the process, how she can clean you up and get you to the bank and get you qualified for that first home. After all, rents are on the rise. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Do you need to sell your home? If you've sold a home before, you remember how stressful and expensive it was. Sold.com is here to help you sell your home for the most money and with the least amount of stress. There are new ways to sell your home that you've never heard of before. Did you know there are companies who'll offer you cash for your home? Did you know you could trade in your home for a new one? Did you know there are realtors who'll sell your home for a flat fee instead of an expensive commission? It's true. Sold.com services are free. So if you're looking to sell, make this free phone call right now and learn how your next home sale can be faster and easier than you ever thought possible. Pick up your cell phone and call right now. 800-449-1759. 800-449-1759. 800-449-1759. Again, that's 800-449-1759.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Elevating with Marcia. I'm your host, Marcia Hawkins, and we're talking with Kristin Vincelli. She's a realtor down in Clearwater, Florida. She launched her own real estate company back in 2021. Passionate realtor. She works at Beachwise Real Estate in the Clearwater area. She's been in real estate for 10 years. And I love throwing your numbers around, Kristin. Last year, a cool $16 million. And on fire last year at 23 million, and you're already at 16 million for this year.
Correct.
Those are some pretty impressive numbers. You're also known as the rollerblading realtor. Check her out on Instagram. And also, I love this. You're a certified real estate negotiation expert. So I love that. But before you can even get to that point, Kristin, you do have to get people to the bank and get them pre-approved. So let's walk everybody through, because I honestly believe this. I believe a lot of people would jump into the market if the fear of being told no was taken out of it. And I think some people just get paralyzed with fear sometimes and they just don't take the plunge. But I know people are paying, what they're paying in rent is far more than what they would be paying in a mortgage. So let's walk through that whole process.
Okay. And we'll go back to the lender part because that's really important. My lender is excellent because I know if I have somebody that is a tough case, that he will handle them with care and help them get through the process and get them to a point where they can get pre-approved, because I've seen it happen a few times. So when I'm first talking to somebody about buying a house, the most important things are their credit, how much their debts are, and how much of a down payment they have, because credit and down payment are the two most important things, and income. So those are the 3 points, right? Credit, income, and a down payment. So, I mean, there's down payment assistance programs. There's parents can help you with that. If you have 2 of the 3, my lender says, they can work on the 3rd one usually. If you have income and a down payment, they can help you fix your credit. If you have credit and income, they can help you with a down payment. So there's different things with that, but you should have at least 2 good points out of those 3.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's great. That's great to know.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can always, if you have 2 of the 3, you can work on the 3rd, right? So I don't know all of the specific guidelines, but I know ideally you want to be less than about 50% of income, and any car payment, credit card payments, any of those things are going to count against your debt. So if you factor in a mortgage on top of that, that should be less than 50% of what you make. So the bank will do all the final calculations on that, but that's a good rule of thumb, is less than 50% of what your income is to include a mortgage. And looking at a mortgage, you can't just look at mortgage payment. You have to look at taxes and insurance as well. I had a few people call me thinking they could move up from a smaller house to a bigger house, but once they saw the taxes and the insurance, the expenses were just going to be too much for them to make that change, even though they had a pretty good amount of equity they could put down on the new house. It just was going to be too much of a jump in payment for them. So they decided to stay put where they are. And then the other thing is, if there is issues with credit, my lender has a pretty good program to help you, get things fixed, get things taken off, pay off some credit cards. 30%, you don't want to have more than 30% on your credit cards, because that really hurts your credit in the long run. If you have the money sitting in the bank, that may be something you want to think about, but definitely speak to a professional to see if that's something that makes sense for you or not, if you are going to go forward with buying a house.
Yeah, when I did real estate, the first thing I did was give me the good, bad, and the ugly, and let's get that cleaned up before, I waste your time or you waste mine. And I obviously said it nicer than that, but yeah, I mean, you really have to get people to the table. And I would have people that would get approved. And of course, and I don't know if they still do this, but they used to run their credit right like the day of the closing to make sure they didn't go out and buy a new car. And I've had people, 2 weeks before go out and buy 2 new vehicles. And I'm like, why did you do that? And they ended up not closing. So it's just really important. And I know, a lot of people do tend to live off credit cards, and really it's just not the way to go. And getting cleaned up and going into the bank. And I did not know though, if the 2 of the 3 that you could always, work on the 3rd. That's a great thing to know, because again, I think a lot of people are held back by fear, even though they're paying outlandish amounts for rent, and they could be obviously in their own home and building up that equity. So that's it. Really, I didn't know that. So that's great. Now, what about the down payment? Let's talk about that. So on the down payment, what typically are the lenders requiring? I know back in the day, they were requiring like 30% down. What is that looking like right now?
Well, I mean, conventionally, you want to have 20% down, ideally, because you're not going to pay mortgage insurance. So you're going to have a little bit lower of a payment if you put 20% down. However, there are government programs like FHA that you can do 3.5% down, but you are going to pay for that. You're going to pay a upfront fee and closing, and you're also going to pay monthly mortgage insurance for the FHA loan. So, right. And that doesn't go away even if you get down to 80%. You're still going to have that. So there are different programs available to put less money down and, go ahead and buy a house with the 3.5%. And I mean, I was even that person, not about 6 years ago, I bought a house using FHA, and it was just such a life-changing experience for me. It was so worth it. And then, ended up being able to sell that house and buy, a nice house in Bel Air. So that first step of buying a house really will change your life. If you have that 3.5%, it's a big difference for your family to have home ownership.
Are you finding, you talked a little bit about people wanting to upgrade. Is that part of what's fueling the market? People wanting to upgrade or no?
Yes, I'm seeing a lot of people, moving up in houses because they bought 2 or 3 years ago. They have so much equity now, and then they can take that equity and put it down on a new house. For some people, the numbers work. For some people, their payment's about the same as they were paying before. It just depends on if they're moving from the suburbs to the city, then that's going to be a big difference in taxes and insurance. So it just depends on the person. But yeah, moving up is happening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, though that I was wondering about that, because if you're selling high, you're still buying high. So I was kind of curious how that all works. Like up here, there was a lot of people that were selling their houses, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to move to Florida and buy a house for $20,000." I'm like, "No, you can't." I'm like, "I don't know where you're," but in their mind, that Florida, as I said on the last show, I had a friend that was buying condos, and they were up about 150,000, and they tanked down to 16,000 a couple of years later. I mean, it was just, the Florida market is in a bubble. We talked about that last week as well. And how the housing market down there, like I remember years ago, probably around the time when you first got into real estate, I believe Miami was absolutely on fire. Even though the rest of the state was, I would say, doing well, but not nearly what was going on in Miami. And I talked to a realtor down there, and he was telling me that there was a lot of Russian money coming into the Miami area. Do you know anything about that?
No, I can't really comment on that. I'm not sure. I do remember the Miami pricing. I mean, they were looking at, let's just say 1,000 a square foot, and we were still like 500 here per square foot, just on an average for like beachfront condos. And I remember thinking the pricing there was crazy, like California or something. So I do remember that, but more specifics I don't have.
Yeah, well, the one that I talked to, he said that his whole client base was, just from Russia, Russian millionaires just coming over and just, gobbling up all the condos, the luxury condos, and like Miami was like in a bubble in and of itself. And he just said, it's just crazy down here. And the rest of the state was doing pretty well. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, I have family and friends in Florida, and they, the swings in the market. And, I want to, in our last segment, talk about that. And we did talk a little bit about it last week, but I want to talk a little bit more about it and where you think the market's going to go. We've got interest rates going up. It does not appear that we're going to have any type of relief in gas prices or, with inflation. So I don't know. I mean, are you concerned about a real estate market crash or not so much?
I wouldn't say crash. I feel like there's got to be a correction. It just can't keep going this way, especially with interest rates coming up. So, I have a client that's looking to buy and she's like, should I wait? And I said, well, if you wait, you might be paying less for a property, but your interest rate's going to be higher. So you're going to be paying about the same anyway. So why would you wait? To me, now is still a good time to buy.
And are you seeing the market? I know last week you mentioned that it kind of, ebbs and flows a little bit. Is this typically your busy time, or is this kind of a time? I mean, I always say the 3J months are kind of weird. I mean, the 3J months for commerce in general are just kind of strange. I think, the kids getting out of school, weddings, vacations, graduations. It always seems like June and July can just kind of be two weird months. In January, everyone's hungover from Christmas. So I think that those months are kind of weird. What are you seeing right now?
Summer's usually a little bit slower just in general here. But it's still pretty steady. It used to just be winter months was our busiest time and that was it, but it's pretty steady all year. It does slow down in the summer just because of the heat and, people are traveling with their kids on vacation and everything like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right. We're going to come back in the next segment and wrap up. We're going to talk where we think the market's going to go and a little bit more than that. This is Elevating with Marcia on Sirius XM 203, 217 on the app 967, the Sports Byline Radio Network. We're going to come back in our final segment with Kristin Vincelli of beachwiserealestate.com. So check it out and check out our Instagram page, The Rollerblading Realtor. I'll be right back.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare our direct rates with multiple companies. Now that we've covered something you could do, it's time for sports stuff you definitely could not do.
If you were head coach, you would not have gone for it on fourth down. Your confidence in your play calling ability might be a little overblown, considering you're barely confident in which restaurant to order takeout from, let alone choosing a play in front of 70,000 screaming fans.
But you definitely can use Progressive's Home Quote Explorer to easily compare rates. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Do you have no credit or bad credit? Well, now it's no problem with YourCreditPulse.com. Our experts have the comprehensive knowledge to help you aggressively navigate and remove any irregularities from your credit report. Call 559-761-9421 for the solution you've been looking for, from buying a house or a car or securing your next personal or small business loan. All you have to do to get started with a confidential and free consultation is call 559-761-9421 or go to our website at YourCreditPulse.com now.
And now today's rust-eating tip of the day, presented by Freol Deep Penetrating Oil. You're all set for a quick tire rotation until you have a rusted-on wheel. Coat those lug nuts in penetrating oil, let them sit for a few minutes, and you'll have them off in a cinch. Now, give a generous spray into each mounting hole, place a 2x4 on the outer edge of the wheel, and smack the wood with a mallet, just enough to create some braking force and vibration. Repeat if necessary. And now a word from Freol.
Stop wasting your time struggling to loosen rusted nuts and bolts. Start using Freol Deep Penetrating Oil. Freol spreads deep into rusted or frozen parts to help release tough bolts and washers. Its formula delivers 3 times more lubricant. That means less sprays, less torque, and less time than any other penetrating oil on the market. It's even silicone-free. Professionals have trusted Freol Deep Penetrating Oil for over 40 years. Now it's your turn. Get Freol today at AutoZone, O'Reilly, and Napa. Look for the silver can.
Have you ever wished the student athlete in your family could play baseball against teams in the Caribbean? Well, now they can set sail and do just that with Team Avenue Baseball on one of its iconic Caribbean cruise camps. That's right. If they love baseball and want an experience they'll never forget, then you need to call 559-321-6701 or visit teamavenuebaseball.com right now. Founded by former pro ball players, teamavenuebaseball.com will lead to the baseball adventure of a lifetime. Call 559-321-6701 now.
Remember your favorite movie moments? Ever thought about collecting them and connecting with your favorite creators? Now you can turn that wish into a reality with Real 8. Real 8 is an inaugural NFT marketplace for fans to collect exclusive behind-the-scenes moments. With Real 8, you can access unique experiences like meeting the cast and crew live. Visit real8.com/USA now to join a community of like-minded fans and get even closer to the films you love. Don't miss the latest NFT drop. Check out real8.com/USA. That's REEL, the number 8.com/USA.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Marcia Hawkins. You're listening to Elevating with Marcia. All right, we're talking with Kristin Vincelli. I want to jump right back into it in our final segment. She's at beachwiserealestate.com. Kristin, tell people how they can get a hold of you. I did give your number out at the beginning of the show, 727-686-1596 to reach her. You can also reach her on Instagram, Kristin with an I, TIN at beachwiserealestate.com. You can reach her that way, and also on Instagram via direct message. Anything else you want to tell the audience about how they can reach you, or what's the best time? Anything you want them to know?
So that number is my cell phone number. You will get me on the phone. You can text me at that number as well. It is 727-686-1596. On my website, I do have a really awesome blog that we do market reports every month or every 2 months. And you can find that easily by going to clearwatermarketreport.com. I wrote a book about Clearwater Beach. It has all of the condos, pet restrictions, pricing, HOA fees, square foot, bed, bath, anything you could possibly think of when considering buying a condo in Clearwater Beach. I've put it all into a really handy guide with all of my favorite points of interest, restaurants, activities, attractions, things to do, along with a little bit of a write-up for each beach community, Sand Key, Island Estates, and Clearwater Beach. You can get a free digital download of that book at clearwatercondoguide.com, clearwatercondoguide.com. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. That's great information. Well, it sounds like in addition to being a realtor, you're like a hospitality host. It sounds like anything that they need. And I'm sure you are probably one of the most well-connected realtors in Clearwater for anything anybody needs in terms for buying a home. I'm sure you're connected with a title company, an attorney, as you said, a lender. And again, going back, it's all about fostering relationships. I totally believe in that. So it sounds like you're able to make this process as seamless and stress-free as possible.
Yes. My favorite saying is I have people, going through a house. I have a closet lady if the closets need nice shelving. I have a contractor. I have a plumber. I have an electrician. I have an idea on what things cost. So if somebody said, oh man, we have to replace the plumbing in this bathroom, I say, okay, I have an idea and it'll be about this range. So yes, I have people. That's my saying.
Yeah, that's great, because that's important, because the last thing they want to do is, like, my husband's a roofing contractor and he's very well connected with the realtors. So when the phone rings, I heard him say the other day, and you'll appreciate this, but he said, oh, okay. All right. The closing is hinging on this. He goes, I will, at my lunch hour, I'll go over the lunch hour. It's in 10 minutes, but he'll run over there and actually do it and take care of it. He'll call me and say, hey, can you do up an estimate for blah, blah, blah street? Because the closing is going to hinge on this, and we'll get it done for them, because we know.
So when are you coming to Florida?
I know, right? Well, we talked about that. I'm thinking, holy cow, I need to get down there. And I as you know, I am going soon, and I am going to connect up with you so that we can take a look, because I think that the prices are really high, but I agree with you. I think with the interest rates going up, the housing prices might come down a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, I think correction, I don't even know if I would use that word. I think what you're going to see more is going to be something to do with the mortgage market. I think the mortgages are I think people might be, maybe a little bit over their heads with financing. But I've got to believe that if they can attack inflation and get the gas prices down, I think
we'd be doing a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I think COVID is the difference this time. And I'll tell you why. So many people, and I think like New York, California, I think some of the real high tax bracket states, I don't know if they're ever going to get those people back. So in those states, I think they are probably going to have a tough time. But I do believe, I think with what's going on in Florida, I mean, Florida has been in the news a lot, as you know, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a bloodbath the way I think it could be for other areas like New York. And, we talked about commercial last week as well. The commercial market, all these people that were working from home that are not going back into the office. Some developers going to get in there and turn those office buildings into condos and probably make a killing on those. But I just don't think it's going to be the bloodbath that it was. I think COVID has changed everything. And I think people are starting to realize that, renting is not the way to go. Up here anyways, the rental market up here is just unbelievable. The other factor is, and I did not realize this until recently, but apparently there was a grant from the federal government so like a lot of the nursing homes and, people that are elderly, a lot of them were having trouble staffing all these places. So what they did is they got this grant. So you'll go into a nursing home up here and they'll have people from Florida, Louisiana, Virginia, and then all the staff up here has gone down to Florida because the price they get more per hour. So you have CNAs that are making, the same rate as an LPN and sometimes an RN. So I think, and that's really, they're traveling nurses and traveling CNAs. And so that is really, a lot of people are buying houses and turning it into, rentals for medical travel people, and that is really affecting it. So people up here anyways are having a hard time finding places because of all the travel nurses and CNAs that are coming into town. People are really, and my son lives in Hawaii and he says the same thing. They just cannot find rentals out there. So I know you mentioned it's the same thing down in Florida. I think that could be a problem, but I think the housing market, believe it or not, I think there might be a little bit of a dip, might be a little bit of a cooling, but I don't think it's going to be the bloodbath that people think it's going to be.
No, I don't think so either, because I mean, the lenders are not giving out those bad loans that they were giving out, the crazy adjustable rate mortgages and the liar's loans with no documentation. I'm not seeing all of that anymore. Their guidelines are loans. They call them the liar loans because sure, I make $200,000 a year. I can buy this place, no problem. And they didn't verify income. You could just send whatever documents, and they just bought these places and they really couldn't afford it. They were way overextended. And we're just not seeing that. And also, I mean, our cash purchases year over year from last year are up 150%. So we have a lot of cash in our market here. So I don't see, a big crash coming. I feel like a correction, that's part of the market. It's part of the ups and downs of market. But a crash, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't either. And I'm not even sure. I think the prices will come down a little bit, but I don't think they're going to come down a lot. I think the rental market's going to suffer a little bit more. And I also believe commercial real estate, at least up in our area, is going to suffer. I mean, I see storefronts everywhere for rent, and they've been for rent for, at least 5 years. And that was actually before COVID. So, telecommuting has become very, very popular. And with COVID, that just only kind of cemented, that was the nail in the coffin on, in my opinion, the commercial real estate. I don't mean for like condos and stuff like that, but I mean, big, huge office buildings. You just don't see it. I remember years ago going out to Indiana and seeing, I hate to say it, but it's a list.com. I won't mention what it is, but I went by and her list.com building was a skyscraper. And I remember going back like a couple of years later, and I noticed that she wasn't advertising on TV as much as she was. And I drove by her building again, and it was just this little brick building. I'm like, okay, someone has downsized. So wow. I do believe the commercial market is definitely going to, really going to have a hard time recovering. As I said, I can think of 5 buildings off the top of my head that have been for lease or for rent, or for sale for at least 5 years. And that was pre-COVID. So, I mean, now that people are working from home, and then of course you have people that are never going to go back to work. They've just decided they're not going to do that. And I think that's hurting that as well. So I don't know. Should be interesting to see. So let's just talk about some closing thoughts on our final segment, Kristin. What else would you like people to know, whether about your real estate company or about the market in general?
So we have just a fun thing, and another fun part of my business that we're working on is we have a 6-seater electric gem car that we are working on branding. So if people come to the Clearwater area and they want to go look at houses, I can cruise them around in my really awesome golf cart and get the full experience of Clearwater and driving over the bridge and, just sightseeing. I think is just going to be a lot of fun. So I have a lot of fun things in the works for real estate, and, I have some new agents that are going to be joining me. I'm going to be growing my team, and I'm just really excited for what's coming for Beachwise Real Estate.
Yeah, I can definitely hear it in your voice. You again, when we first met, and it could have been the market, it could have been a number of things, but you definitely have that passion in your voice, which is great. So let's talk about how people can get in touch with you, because that's the most important part.
So you can reach me at my cell phone, 727-686-1596. I'm on Instagram at Rollerblading Realtor. I also have a really huge page, Clearwater Beach is Awesome, with 36,000 followers. It's a great page to follow. You can find me on there promoting my real estate listings, market information, as well as my rollerblading realtor tours of the beach during sunset, which is always a lot of fun. And also on Facebook at Clearwater Beach is Awesome. They post, I'm actually getting ready in a couple weeks to do some promos for restaurants. So you'll see me doing some fun things around the beach and eating some delicious food and just, having fun on the beach. And also my email address, Kristin at beachwiserealestate.com, my website, beachwiserealestate.com. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. That's great. Hey, I wanted to quickly ask you, what is the second home market like down there right now? Is that still going pretty strong, or there's just no inventory?
Yes. So, you say second home, I have people that are looking to buy, to possibly rent it out or use it a little bit themselves. But I have a really high demand still for investors looking to do a 1031 exchange or buy something that they can rent out daily, weekly, Airbnb type properties in the market. So I do have a really big list of buyers that are looking for those types of properties. They're just few and far between. And some of the ones coming on the market are, to be honest, a little junky and needing a lot of work for the pricing that they're asking for.
Oh,
so
okay.
Still looking for those diamonds in the rough, in any market, I guess. But
yeah. And what about new construction? Is that still going pretty strong?
New construction, there's a lot of new developments out in the suburbs, not so much in the city. They're still really hard to find here for fair pricing.
Yeah, it's like inventory is the big thing right now for sure. All right, check out Kristin at beachwiserealestate.com. Visit her website, beachwiserealestate.com. Give her a call at 727-686-1596. We're going to take a quick break. This is Elevating with Marcia on XM 203-217 and on the Sirius XM app 967, the Sports Byline USA Radio Network, iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, Stitcher, iTunes, Tuned In, and my favorite, the American Forces Radio Network. A shout out to our military. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back and close it out with Kristin Vincelli.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. That's 800-485-6003.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. That's 800-824-5131.
All right, just heard the 2-minute warning. I want to wrap up another edition of Elevating with Marcia. Once again, we had Kristin Vincelli of Beachwise Real Estate. Give her a call at 727-686-1596, serving the Clearwater Gulf Coast. Beautiful, sunny, warm Florida. It doesn't get any better than that. Also, check her out as the Rollerblading Realtor online on Instagram. You can follow her personal page at Kristin Vincelli on Facebook. We're going to get back to talking sports in the next couple of shows. A lot going on with the NBA, the NFL. I'm getting super excited about that, as you know, and so much more. Check out Elevating with Marcia on Facebook or Instagram. If you'd like to reach me, you can direct message me on social media at Instagram and Facebook. And also check it out on SiriusXM 203-217 and on the app 967, The Sports Byline USA Radio Network. Again, if you'd like to be on the show, direct message me on Facebook or Instagram. Love to hear from you. Also, today's show is sponsored by TeleWellness. Please visit telewellnessmd.com and use promo code Marcia to receive 20%, and that's MARCIA, to receive 20% off your purchase. We're going to be doing a couple of shows with Dr. Agan in the next couple of weeks to talk more about telewellness. We're going to be, kind of delving into the anti-aging, weight management, stress, and just overall wellness in general. Again, use the promo code Marcia to receive 20% off your order. Head on over to telewellnessmd.com. I believe they're in your area, Kristin, as well. Plug in the promo code Marcia, 20% off. Also, MarciaHawkinsAgency.com for all your insurance needs. We really have a cool life product that I love showing to people. We're going to do another whole show on that as well. Tax-free income in your retirement. It's really a great product. Remember to reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook And always remember to be in the minute to win it and have a great week. Adios.